San Antonio. This is Rob for the Metalworks. We're here at Robbs MetalWorks Headquarters once again, yes, to bring you the best and brightest in Texas metal. And I have with me tonight a band from Austin that I've really been high on since back in early in the new millennium. Brings me great pleasure to welcome Adam Wright and Kevy Rojas of the band By Any Means Necessary out of Austin. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having us.
How you doing, Kev?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thanks for having us here.
It's great to have you guys here and back in front of our cameras. It's been quite some time, and there's been a lot of developments with the band. I think right now is a very exciting time for By Any Means Necessary. So, Adam, why don't we go ahead and start off before we start talking about your new EP. Let's start talking about some of the transitions that have been happening with By Any Means Necessary. And I guess first and foremost, we have to talk a little bit about Kevy transition into the lineup, because I think right now By Any Means Necessary is really at the top of their game.
Well, thanks, man. I guess the biggest transition for us from our side, or from our perspective, would be that we've really made the transition from being a local band to a full-time band, and it really didn't take effect until Kevy actually did join as a full-time member. Before, we were never in a position where we could take the band on full-time, and here we are now, and we're generating interest, and things are happening, so I think we're finally getting something.
Well, that's great. Kevy, talk a little bit about your transition into the band. How did you hear about By Any Means Necessary? I know because we're friends that you knew about the band, but how did you really kind of get involved with them?
Well, yeah, I had seen the band back in, it was Cinco de Mayo '06, I think, the first time I saw them, but really I came across, it was just the right place, the right time. I just heard from a friend that By Any Means Necessary was looking for a new guitar player, so I instantly hit up Adam, sent him a message on MySpace, and we just went from there. Just flowed from the start. Came out, we rehearsed a couple times, did a couple audition preliminary rehearsals, and everything flowed really well from the start. It's pretty cool.
And it didn't hurt that you're a badass shredder either, so they were like, all right, let's go ahead and talk about what is out on the streets now for fans to really hear what this band is about. And your new EP, and here it is, San Antonio, in case you don't yet have it, has been out on the streets for a little bit. Let's talk about this 3-song EP, self-titled EP. Tell us a little bit about the tracks on this EP.
It's The Discord of War, Charlatan, and Erase the Plague. There's some songs we had been working on for quite a while, and we finally got the opportunity to get in the studio with Scott Sargent, and we're really happy with the way it came out. He really pushed us to do well, and I think he's a great producer, and we're really happy with the way it came out. The idea for, I think, 2 of the tracks there, and then we brought in Kevy, and he added his 2 cents, and before we got the recordings done, of course, there was some pre-production work done with Scott as well, and we're really happy with the way they were on the recording, because they weren't at that point yet, before we'd gotten there. So yeah, we're really happy with the way it came out.
I was very excited to hear that you guys were working with Scott Sargent. Here at the program, we have a long relationship with Scott. We know he's a professional. He's been in this industry for quite some time. He's a guitar player himself, so he knows what a band should sound like. What was it like working with Scott? Did he bring a certain vibe into the recording? Did you enjoy recording with him?
It was definitely a life-changing experience for me. It was working with someone that is not going to patronize you, is not going to tell you it's good when it's not. He's very blunt, and it was just one of those deals where, as a guitar player himself, for me, it was like he was pushing me to my limit, and he'd break my balls at times, but, that's what's got to be done, that's just how it is, and he was really, really great help. I really think, and I really will credit him with, taking us to that next step that we needed to take,
Were there any other songs that you started working on during those sessions with Scott, or did you guys just focus on these 3 songs?
Well, actually, as of a couple weeks ago, Scott's been helping us start developing the rest of our songs for what we hope to put together as a full length, and we're writing all the material and bringing him in, and he's kind of helping us out a little bit with it, but yeah, so that's where we are now. We're writing for full length. At the time there was a couple other tracks that we were talking about possibly recording in the studio, but we didn't. We decided to just do the 3 and save those for the full length. So.
So when would you anticipate that the full length might come out for By Any Means Necessary?
It's probably a little too early to say for sure, but I probably before the end of the year or early next year.
And I know that this EP definitely got our attention. I know it's gotten the attention of a lot of people in the music community. Talk a little bit about some of your efforts in support of this EP. Are you doing anything on the back end to kind of get the word out there? I know you shared a little bit about Jake's adventures out at NAMM, but maybe share some of that with the people out there about how you guys are really trying to make this EP be fruitful for the band as far as progressing the band's position.
We've been sending it out to any publication, any radio stations, like everywhere we can, anywhere, that'll write a review of it or anything. It got into the hands of Dino Casares recently from Divine Heresy and Fear Factory, and he's been extremely supportive too of us, and he actually passed it along to his manager Scott Koenig, who we've been talking to a little bit, and we might end up working with him, hopefully. That's the way everything's looking at the time, right now. So we're working towards that. Right now, our main goal is to develop the songs for the full length and take it from there, and then we're gonna start shopping it out, really.
What's the reception been like, maybe to the band from people who are just maybe now barely coming to know who By Any Means Necessary is? What's the reception been like?
Well, I could say we're getting really good positive response from people. There's a lot of new attention every time we go out of town. It's just kind of like, a very good domino effect going on. We go out of town, we go back, and we have double what the audience we had the previous time, and it's just, that's really our goal, is really just to keep spreading, just get as far out, even beyond Texas, just spread our boundaries as far as possible, spread them as by any means necessary,
But for some of the people out there maybe who have never even heard of the band, who are hearing about the band for the first time tonight, I think I was kind of remiss when I started this interview not to kind of say, like, describe, your sound, if you had to put into words, what By Any Means Necessary is, not only musically but as a band, how would you best describe that?
Well, it's definitely really heavy. It's reminiscent of older thrash and death metal styles with a more like a modern touch to it in a way. There's lots of influences involved, obviously, from all of our ends, but I'd have to say it's very, very intense, very heavy, like modern type.
For people out there, especially all the fans who get online and things like that, where can they go to find out about By Any Means Necessary? How can they get their hands maybe on this EP if they can't make it out to your shows? Talk a little about your endeavors online.
The EP is available on our MySpace page for purchase via PayPal. It's also available. It's going to be available on iTunes and Zune and most major music download
all you sources. People out there, all you crazy metal maniacs, be sure to go to the MySpace. It's /
By Any Means Necessary.
By Any Means Necessary, plain and simple. Buy it online if you can't make it out to the show. All right, guys, we've talked a lot about a lot of different things. Anything that I missed? Anything that I didn't cover? Anything that you want to share with people in San Antonio who will watch this interview?
Keep an eye out for our because if you like what's on the demo, wait till you hear some of the newer songs. Wait till you hear the full length that's in the works. So,
Kevy, any last words that you want to share with people out there in San Antonio?
Just keep brutal, man. The fans out there are great, the greatest fans in the world. I would have a drink with any one of our fans. I can say that much. And definitely keep an eye out for the full length. It's gonna be pretty interesting. It's going to be an interesting ride.
Remember, San Antonio, the name is By Any Means Necessary out of Austin, Texas. If you want to learn more about the band, just go to their MySpace. You can watch them on robbsmetalworks.com later on this year. You saw Kevy and Adam of the band only right here on Robbs MetalWorks.